Hello and welcome to the Vibrant Health Show. Today's all about properly supporting your liver, which is such an important topic, but most people don't know how to do it properly and safely. So we're going to talk all about that today. I'm going to give everyone a second to jump on, say hi as you jump on, tell me where you're watching from, interact with me in the comments. If you have questions as we go, I'll have my comments pulled up. I'll be checking for your questions, but let's get into it. So it's January, which means most people are trying to get into, healthy lifestyle stuff. And I've been seeing so many videos on Instagram and TikTok about doing liver detoxes and parasite detoxes and all of these things that if you followed me for a while, I don't feel like those are the places that most people should start, right? Majority of people are not ready right off the bat to just jump into a liver detox or a big gut detox. In fact, you can actually make yourself really sick by doing that the wrong way. However, the liver is incredibly important to support. And at some point, yes, you will want to do a detox. But even when I work one-on-one with my private clients, we're not detoxing for a minimum of 60 days. Usually it's more like that 90-day mark where their body's even ready to do a full detox. So the things I'm going to teach you today are stuff that anybody can get started with and that I believe everybody should be doing. So these are great things to start. If you are part of the New Year's Revolution Challenge, these are going to be extra things that you can add to that challenge. If you're not doing the challenge, first of all, why are you not doing the challenge? You should be doing the challenge. But even if you're not, these are things that you can absolutely add in as just part of your healthy routine, ongoing, to support and gently detox the liver without being too forceful or risking mobilizing toxins that your body's not ready for. So I'm going to teach you my favorite ways, my 5 top ways that we're going to help gently support and detox the liver. But first, I think it's really important for you to understand the functions of the liver and all of the different things that it actually does, right? Most people know that the liver is kind of our filter for toxins, and we assume that's kind of all it does. But your liver has a lot of different jobs and it really interacts with almost every system in the body. In fact, majority of our hormones are converted in the liver. So to be able to process out any inflammatory estrogen or testosterones that aren't healthy for you. So there's good testosterone, there's more inflammatory testosterone, to be able to process any of that stuff out, metabolize excess hormones, to be able to make healthy, proper cholesterol happens in the liver. The liver helps with digestion. It helps with definitely detoxification. It helps with absorption of things. I mean, there's just so many things that your liver is responsible for, including stimulating immune function, and is actually your second largest organ in your entire body, right after your skin. So your skin's your largest organ and our liver is the second, which means by nature, it's going to take on a lot more roles. In fact, there's over 500 functions that we need the liver doing properly. And when the liver is inflamed, when it's full of toxins, when it's bombarded by all this other stuff, it can't properly perform those 500 plus functions. So we really want to give it some help because unfortunately, just living a lifestyle like we do in America, North America, we are just bombarded by toxins, right? Even if you do a really great job of, your own choices, the air outside, the chemicals, everything we buy, all of the products that we're surrounded around, there's just so many toxins in our modern lifestyle that the liver over the last, 50 to 100 years has had to do a whole lot more work than it was ever really designed to do, right? So knowing that, we just want to make sure we're giving it extra help because it needs it. So don't just think it's only a detox organ. Your liver is huge for immune system, digestion, hormone conversion, energy production, healthy cholesterol production. We really need the liver working properly. So I'm going to give you some signs and symptoms. Again, let me know if you have any questions as we go. I'm looking at all your comments here in the thread. But let's talk about signs and symptoms that you might have a sluggish or inflamed liver, that you might need to support your liver properly. Spoiler alert, everyone should support their liver properly, but especially if you have some of these signs and symptoms, you definitely want to add in some of the things that we're going to talk about today. Number one, being bloating and gas. We're going to talk a lot about how the liver and the gut function really go hand in hand. So a lot of times what you might think are digestive symptoms really could be coming more from the liver or the gallbladder not being at their full function too. So bloating and especially gassiness is one of the things that I immediately start thinking, okay, we have an overburden on the liver. It's not helping with that breakdown and absorption. We definitely want to support that area more. Reflux is another one. Again, even more than stomach acids, reflux coming from the liver. And I'll talk about liver and gallbladder a lot at the same time because they kind of work together. But reflux can often be coming more from those areas than even the actual digestion or foods that you're eating. So if you get consistent reflux and you've tried lots of different things, they haven't worked, really focusing on liver and even that gallbladder support is going to make a very, very big difference. So reflux and bloating, those are right away my brain's thinking, okay, something's going on with that liver. Constipation or digestive issues in general, definitely. But dark urine is another one. So even if you're pretty well hydrated and your urine is still a little bit darker than it should be, that can definitely be some liver issues. Really, your urine should be clear. When you're well hydrated, your urine should be completely clear. So if you're getting those darker tinges, then we're thinking, okay, what's going on with the liver? Let's support that better. Dark circles around your eyes, that one's huge for liver gallbladder issues. It's just showing we're not absorbing our nutrients. There's taxation on the system. We're depleted in stuff. And typically when we're depleted, it's because those organ systems aren't working properly to help us digest and absorb our nutrition, right? So those dark circles that just don't seem to go away, even if you get sleep, you still feel like you look tired, start thinking about liver. Redness or yellow tinges in the eyes. If your eyes are always kind of discolored, they never look bright, they never look healthy, start thinking liver, start thinking that gallbladder area. Those are all signs that we're not properly detoxifying the body. Bruising easily, yes, that can be anemia, but if you have been checked for anemia and it's not that, and your B12 looks okay, easy bruising could definitely be a sluggish or low functioning liver. And then always being tired. Fatigue without, like, you're resting, but you're still tired. When your body is bombarded with toxins or overloaded and not filtering properly, it makes everything feel heavy and sluggish. And that can definitely be liver. And typically that also go hand in hand with inability to lose weight, like feeling like I'm eating better, but the weight's still not moving. You need your liver to actually help you metabolize and burn fat, and you need your gallbladder, the bile salts in particular from your gallbladder, to help you metabolize those fats out of the body to lose weight. So if those areas aren't working, and even sometimes eating better and exercise isn't moving the needle, it's because you need help with that metabolism. So if you have one or more of those on the list, tell me in the comments, do you have at least one? Do you have multiple? Do you have all of them, right? I feel like a lot of people I talk to are like, I have every single one of those. And unfortunately, that's pretty common. Again, our lifestyle, the way that we eat, the stress our body is under, and the lack of liver support that most people are doing, majority of people I meet with have a low functioning or poor functioning liver. So let's get to ways that you can start helping and supporting that liver. We're going to love on our liver through January. Yes, we're doing the revolution. We're doing the reset. January is always reset month for me, but I have now also deemed January that I'm going to love my liver month because it's going to help with all of those health goals that you have for this year. So here's some really simple but very effective things we're going to do. I'm going to talk about a lot of resources today. So I will put the links to anything I mentioned in the comments and the show notes to make sure that you guys have access to anything that I mentioned for y'all. So don't worry about trying to get it all in as you're listening. I'll make sure it's all updated in the comment section. So we're going to start with what I feel like is the most simple, but probably the most important. One of the conversations I have often with my one-on-one clients is it can feel incredibly overwhelming if you start looking at all the sources of toxicity and inflammation. Yes, in an ideal world, we minimize it, we eliminate it all, we're not exposed to toxins, and we don't have to worry about it. But that's just not realistic. And I can definitely see some people get very overwhelmed when they start thinking, oh my gosh, I have to change everything, right? I have to get all my food changed over. I have to change all my personal care products. I have to make sure I don't go to these places that are more toxic. I have to avoid all this stuff. And you just can't, right? There's so many things we don't have control over. So I want to teach you the 3 places that you have the most control over and start there. If you're not doing these 3 things already, That's the place you start. And then when you have a good handle on those, then look into your personal care products, then look into your other things. You have time to change it all. You do not have to do it all at the same time. In fact, that will probably cause you more stress. So really start here. And then over the next several weeks, I'll do some different personal care swaps and non-toxic products and things like that. But if you're going to start anywhere, here are the 3 ways that we're going to start to reduce the toxic load to our body, right? The first thing I want you to do to help support your liver is minimize the amount of toxins that it has to deal with every single day. And there are 3 main places those come from. Number 1 is your nutrition, right? You're going to hear me talk about food every time I do a show, because if you're not eating properly, there is no other tip, tool, trick, herb that will fix the problem if we're constantly giving the body inflammation and toxins through nutrition. So the very first thing, if you're not doing it yet, is eating a clean, whole food diet. And I know sometimes those terms can be very general, and you're like, okay, well, what does that look like? Go right now. I'll put the link in the comment section. Register for my 2-week challenge. You're going to get a 2-week meal plan that shows you exactly what healthy, non-toxic eating looks like. And you can recreate that and mimic that. But if you haven't made those changes, if you haven't reduced packaged and processed foods, colors and dyes, inflammatory products, rancid and unhealthy oils that cause massive inflammation in your liver, those are the easiest places. Well, easy might not be the right word. I know it's not easy, but those are the simplest places to start making changes before you go into all of these really, complicated procedures and detoxes. It's got to start with your nutrition. So a great example of that is the 2-week meal plan. You can still register for that. Even if you're not following the whole challenge, just register to get the example of the meal plans, right? It's free. So you can see what I mean when I say I want you eating a low inflammatory, non-toxic, whole food. Those are my 3 things, right? Low inflammation, low toxins, and whole food. So you're getting lots of nutrition. That's the way I need every single one of you eating, ongoing, forever, right? The rest of your life. And that doesn't mean you're perfect. That means you focus on those things. So the first place we're going to minimize and reduce toxins is through the nutrition that we're putting into our body. And that includes the things you are drinking, right? Sodas, all of those beverages, things that are sweetened with artificial sweeteners, those have got to go. Make sure you're also looking at your liquid forms of nutrition just as much as you are the food that you're eating. So that's change number 1. And again, great resources in the reset so you can see what a healthy meal plan looks like and follow along with that. Number 2 is the air you're breathing in your own environment, right? We're getting majority of our toxins from food, air, and water. So you can control those 3 things, your food, your air, and your water, at least in your own home, right? If you can't in your external circumstances, okay, you can't, right? There's nothing we can do about that. Let's change the things that we can. So if you don't have a really good air filter, that would be priority. That would be the next thing I want you to put on your list that you're either saving up for, you're asking for it for your birthday. It's the thing that you want this year, because filtering the toxins, the crap, all the molds, the pollution, the stuff that's in your home, which is in fact more toxic than the outside environment, right? Our internal air quality is 5 to 10 times more toxic than the outside because of all of the products and the stuff and our bedding and our mattresses and our furniture and all these things that are leaching toxins every day, putting a huge strain on your liver. I highly advise that you make an investment in your health this year and get a good, high quality air filter. I'm going to put links below again to my favorite air filter and also some discounts for them. I love the Air Doctor because it really has the smallest particle size that it's going to be able to filter. It does the best job of filtering multiple things out of your environment, including mold, viruses and bacteria, and toxins, which is really important. But if you don't have a good high quality air filter, I really encourage you to make a plan on how you're going to make sure that happens. And if that means you have to save up for it, it's worth it. That should be an investment you make in your health this year. I will put the link to my favorite one below. So we're going to change our food. We're going to make sure that at least the air in our environment that we're breathing in, if you have kids, if you have pets, like we want our air as clean as possible for everybody who's in our home. And then number 3 is a good water filter at bare minimums for the water that you're consuming from your taps, right? Especially if you're drinking it. So bottled water is not great. In a pinch, right? If you're out somewhere and you get a bottled water every once in a while, fine. But ideally, you want to plan to be able to bring your own water. You want it filtered with reverse osmosis. And there's lots of simple ways to do that. And there's lots of complicated ways, right? So my favorite air or water filters are called AquaTrue, because they have lots of different options. They have like glass carafes that you just put on your countertop, right? Kind of like the newer, healthier version of a Brita filter. I'm not a big fan of Brita filters, if you haven't caught on to that yet. Really, you need a better filtration system than that. And typically just the filters, if you're drinking water through your fridge or those different areas, that water is still so full of toxins and chemicals. So getting a really good water filter, you can either get one that just filters it pitcher by pitcher. There's that option. There's also options for under the sink. So it's just a really easy, you can usually put it in yourself, or you can have a plumber come do it, but just under certain sinks in certain areas. And then there are whole home water filtration systems. That's much more complicated. That's much more expensive. You don't necessarily need to go that big right away. But if you don't have a really good water filtration system, again, bare minimums on the water you're drinking. Ideally, it goes on your faucets, and there are also ones that can go on your shower heads. The more you can add, the better. But again, we're not getting overwhelmed. I'm not saying you have to do all of this today. Pick the one thing you know you don't have yet, get a plan to get that one. When you have that in place, then choose the next thing. I'm giving you ideas of things you can take, this whole next year to add into your life. But those three are priority: your food changes, filtering your air, and filtering your water. That is the best way to reduce the toxic load on your liver, which will make everything else easier, because you won't have to detox your liver so much if you're minimizing the toxins that you're exposed to on a daily basis. So that's just step one. Step one is minimize the toxins of your food, your air, and your water, making sure that you have good filtration systems for air and water. Number two, and I'm going to post the recipe. If you have the reset, this recipe is in there, but a really simple drink I like to add every single day, especially through, detox month in January, that really helps support the liver. And it's really easy and kind of yummy to make too. It's a lemon chia seed water. So I'll post the recipe, right? Don't get overwhelmed. But there are different benefits of both lemon and chia seed that help the liver tremendously. So the acidity of the lemon actually turns on some of those detox pathways in the liver. It really helps stimulate just good detoxification. If you are allergic to lemon, which I know a lot of my people who we do food allergy testing on have a lemon allergy, you can change it to lime. If you can't do lemon, that's totally fine. We just want the acidity. But it's the lemon water combined with the chia seeds. You're going to put the chia seeds and the lemon in water. You're going to let it sit for a minute or two because you want the chia seeds to get nice and puffy. And then you're going to drink it. So the chia seeds almost act like a little broom going through your colon, helping clean out some of the digestive junk that gets to the liver. So it really kind of cleans up that pathway. And then you have the acidity of the lemon water to help turn on the liver to detoxify better. And it tastes good. So it's such a simple thing you can do every day that's just helping metabolize toxins a little bit faster without being too forceful, without creating a big detox reaction. So that's something I highly encourage you to do every day for the rest of January, and see how your bloating is, right? See how your digestion is improving. Notice if you feel like you have a little bit more energy just by giving your liver that support. So the lemon and chia seed water, I love it. It's what I'm doing all month long for myself. And again, I'll post the recipe, and it's in the recipes for your detox as well. But adding that in is a great, gentle, ongoing kind of long-term support for your liver. Number three, castor oil packs. I know there's a lot of buzz on social media right now about castor oil. I'm actually a fan, right? There's a lot of stuff that is out there and I'm not a huge fan of, but castor oil, yes, I am on board 100%. There's many different ways that you can use it. You can be very simple with it. And then you can, again, there's such a spectrum with all health and wellness things. So simply, you could just apply a good organic castor oil. That's the biggest thing you're looking for when it comes to castor oil or castor oil pack. You want to make sure the castor oil is organic, and you want to make sure that the actual cotton that you're using or the pad that you're using is also organic, because you don't want to be putting non-organic toxic things directly on your body. So as long as it's organic, a good castor oil and a good castor oil pack. Now you can put the castor oil just on your skin. That's kind of step one, the easiest way to do it. Just apply it on your skin and leave it there, right? It soaks in. There's other methods that you like put it in your belly button. You can do it over like breast tissue. You can do it over your thyroid area. You can put your castor oil just about anywhere. When you add the pack to it, it just saturates it more and you get a little bit of just additional benefit by using the pack and leaving it on longer. If you're going to use a castor oil pack, you want to leave it on for 45 minutes to an hour at least, but you can also leave it on longer. I have some people who sleep with it or use it, if you're sitting there watching a movie or doing something else, you can leave it on longer. The cool thing about a castor oil pack is you can move it around for different benefits, right? So if your biggest discomfort is bloating and digestive issues, you'd want to apply your castor oil pack across your entire abdomen. If you're doing it to help support your liver, you're going to put it on your right-hand side, kind of right under your rib cage, kind of over those bottom ribs on the right side, and wrap it around to the back because your liver sits on that right side of your body. So you'll put it over that liver. If you have any breast inflammation or, lymphatic issues in the armpit area, you can do a castor oil pack over that area. I do it a lot to help with the thyroid because the thyroid's another area of the body that's just prone to circulation of toxins because it gets so much blood flow. So doing like a smaller pack over your thyroid, you can move it around, but you can do castor oil packs daily. You can do them once a week. I say at bare minimums, do it once a month, right? We're trying to support and help our liver. We're giving it as much help as we can. So at least once a month. If you can do it more often, great, do it more often. And it's just a simple thing that's cost effective, right? A whole castor oil pack kit is not very expensive. You'll use it ongoing. It doesn't take a ton of effort, but it really is beneficial. The castor oil is helpful. It's anti-inflammatory. It helps stimulate your detox pathways. Just having that warmth and soothing of the castor oil pack over your liver area reduces inflammation in the liver. I mean, there's just so many really cool benefits to that. And then you can use the castor oil packs on multiple areas of your body. So I feel like that is absolutely a worthwhile addition to your health and wellness regimen, one that actually has benefit, right? Not a waste of time like some things are. So that's a beautiful thing that everybody can add right away, right? Get one ordered if you don't have one, or if you have one, I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I have that, I just don't use it. Pull it out, right? Let's put it to use. Now's the perfect time in the We're Gonna Love Our Liver Month to use our castor oil packs. Can you get the same effect by drinking castor oil? So I don't recommend drinking castor oil very much because it does create quite a laxative effect and it can be uncomfortable. It causes some contraction in the abdomen. So we don't do it drinking as much unless we're trying to get a laxative effect. There's sometimes I'll recommend that. But as a wellness practice, no, I'd rather you do it topically. Good question. Okay. Next up, so we have we're going to minimize, to recap, we're going to minimize the toxins we're putting in our body through food, air, and water. We're going to add our lemon and chia seed because we're going to broom out, we're going to sweep out all the junk, and we're going to help stimulate our detox. We're going to soothe and reduce inflammation in our liver by using our castor oil packs, all things that are very doable. Number 4 gets a little bit more in depth, right? But here's the main thing I see that affects how well your liver is functioning, and that's the health of your gut. So here's what I want you to picture. I did an entire video, 30-minute long video on leaky gut several weeks ago. So if you haven't seen that one, I highly recommend you go back and watch it. It's very informative. But what happens when we have leaky gut, which most people have, again, because of toxins and inflammation, is that our gut no longer holds the toxins, the bacteria, the mold inside the digestive system. It actually starts to leach into the blood, right? It leaks out of the gut into the bloodstream. Well, when these molds and toxins and bacteria and viruses leak into the bloodstream, they get into your circulatory system, which has to go through your liver, which means your liver, whose job shouldn't primarily be to deal with bacteria and viruses and mold and food allergies and all of these things, because your digestive system was supposed to eliminate that. Well, now it has to deal with those things on top of environmental toxins and other things that you're being exposed to because it got in the bloodstream. So if you want to reduce your load on your liver, we have to fix the gut. In fact, it's almost impossible to get a fully well-functioning liver if you still have inflammation, overgrowth, bacteria, stuff going on in the digestive system. So if you have, especially if you go back to that list of signs and symptoms, if you have bloating, if you have gas, if you have constipation, if you have skin issues, like if you get rashes or skin breakouts, if you have any of those signs of other digestive issues, I 100% encourage you to do a comprehensive stool sample, because knowing what's going on in your gut is going to allow you to make the best choices to actually fix it. Again, not a big fan. Don't just go do a big colon cleanse or gut detox. You don't know what's in there. What if you have stuff that you don't want mobilizing to the rest of your body because it could get stuck other places, right? There's a lot of dangerous things that can happen if you detox too quickly and don't know if you have overgrowth or infections or parasites or any number of things that could be in your gut. If you've never done a stool sample, when it comes to holistic healthcare, that's foundational, right? If you followed any holistic practitioners anywhere over social media, the gut is the foundation, right? If we don't heal the gut, it's almost impossible to fix the liver, to balance the thyroid, to get good hormones, to have energy, to lose weight, to feel good. All the things that you want are going to hinge on proper function of the gut and proper function of the liver. Those come first, and then we can balance out all of those other things. So for the month of January, we're also doing a sale on the stool sample because it's the test I think most people should start the year off with. So we're doing $50 off the cost of the stool sample, and the cost of the test is going to include your test read appointment with one of my doctors to review your results with you, explain what it all means, and help you decide on next steps from there. So I'll put those links below. If you have never done a stool sample, I'm telling you, I do it on my kids. It's the first test that we do on almost everybody that we work with, because if you don't know what's going on with your gut, it is impacting all of those other systems. However, if you have a good, well-functioning gut, everything else becomes so much easier. It's going to be way easier to support your liver. Your hormones will balance faster. You'll lose weight quicker. You'll feel better a whole lot faster. But it really does start with that gut health. So if you've heard the term gut health before and leaky gut, and you're still kind of confused or hazy on what all that means, I know it can be overwhelming, go back and search for my leaky gut video. We really go into detail. I think a lot of people had some light bulb moments on that video about why the health and the inflammation in your gut is so important to those other areas. But that's my number 4 thing. If you want a well-functioning liver, if you want a body that can detox itself, you have to test the gut, and you have to know how to properly support your microbiome so that we're not getting extra toxins, bacteria, viruses, things that could live inside that gut. So number 4 is not only test your gut, but take good care of it, because it works hand in hand with your liver. And then number 5, super simple, add a good liver support, right? Not a liver detox. We're not detoxing. There's lots of things that can detox your liver. We don't want to do that yet if you haven't had proper testing and you haven't started to minimize your toxins. But a good liver gallbladder support is probably something everybody should be on, right? Like, not probably, it is something everyone should be on, because even if you do your best, you're still around toxins all the time. So my favorite is called my liver gallbladder complex. It supports the healthy function of the liver, and it also has extra things to stimulate gallbladder. And if you don't have a gallbladder, a liver gallbladder complex is something you will be on forever, long-term, the rest of your life, because you have reduced the function that you can have by not having your gallbladder. You no longer store enough bile, which means your liver is now extra burdened because it has to take the jobs of what your gallbladder should do. And a lot of people who don't have a gallbladder are the ones who have that whole line of signs and symptoms, right? We have the dark eyes, we can't lose weight, we have bloating and gas, we're running to the bathroom, we don't feel good, we're tired all the time. That happens after you have your gallbladder removed, if you don't give your body back really good liver gallbladder support. So super simple. The liver gallbladder support is designed to take 1 capsule with every meal you eat. So if you eat twice a day, 3 times a day, you're going to take a capsule with every meal. It helps stimulate the function of that liver. It helps you process toxins better, and it's going to support that gallbladder so that we can digest, absorb, and assimilate our nutrition even better. So that's a great, easy place to start. If you know you're someone who has a hard time making food changes, you're like, I want to, but I know I'm probably not going to be perfect, then adding a good liver gallbladder support ongoing would be the place for you to start, right? We want that extra support, and it's healthy and safe for everyone to take. It's just a great support, not a detoxer, which is really important. We're not detoxing, we're supporting. So those are the 5 things. I'm going to recap for you. Questions? Anyone watching who do any of those things already or do none of those things and think that you need to? Tell me in the comments. So the recap of what we're adding for our, I'm going to love on my liver January. We're going to minimize our toxins, right? You should be doing your meal plan from the reset, or at least getting registered for it today so you can see the meal plan and have a whole food, anti-inflammatory, low toxin diet. We are going to filter our water. We're going to filter our air. I'll put those links below. We're going to add our lemon chia seed water as close to daily as you can, right? Aim for daily. If once or twice a week it doesn't happen, that's fine. But I want you to commit to a month of having that lemon and chia seed water as close to daily as possible. And notice how that alone makes a big difference. We're going to add castor oil. Ideally, we're going to add a castor oil pack. We're going to do it over our liver as our very first goal, right? Because we're talking about the liver, but feel free to move it around to other areas of your body. I recommend for a castor oil pack a minimum of 3 times a week, right? If you're kind of going, you could do it daily. 3 times a week is great, but at least bare minimum, do it once a month for maintenance ongoing. But if you have a pack and you're really committing to loving your liver this month, let's aim for 3 times a week of that castor oil pack for about an hour. You can leave it on longer if you want to. If you have not had a comprehensive stool sample, this is going to be kind of gross. So if you're easily grossed out, you might want to like tune out right now. But if you've never tested your gut, you don't know what's living in there. And it's probably more than you anticipate, right? There's bacteria, there's yeast, there's parasites, there's other infections, there's inflammation. There are so many things that could be in your gut that are circulating around, putting so much pressure on your liver. And a lot of those infections are the root causes of autoimmune, Hashimoto's, thyroid dysfunction, adrenal issues. I mean, really, it's sometimes overwhelming to think of the amount of things that can be in there if you've never properly tested or done a really good gut protocol. So put that on your list. Your goal this year is, if you have not had a stool sample, you want to add that for sure to see what's going on in your microbiome. And then lastly, we're adding a liver gallbladder complex to support that liver, because it does over 500 jobs for you every single day. And a lot of your big health goals, like more energy, losing weight, glowing skin, all of those things require a liver that is working well. So adding in a good support, 1 capsule with every meal, is a simple way to start moving in the right direction while you're working on making all of these other changes that we talked about today. So hopefully that wasn't too overwhelming. I had so many other things that I could have added, but I tried to just pick my 5. I'll keep coming back and adding more. Jean says, I'm doing a 2-week plan. Yummy. On the Greek turkey burgers are so good. And she likes the chia water. See, she says it's actually good. I really like it. And it's just something different, right? It's not the same thing all the time. So give it a try. I'll post those recipes too. So make sure if you're watching this video, come back in a little bit and look for all those resources in the comments so that you have them. Feel free to keep putting any questions or comments below. I'll come back and check them. But thanks for being with me. Next week, we're going to continue down our kind of revolution detox theme, and we'll talk more about healthy ways to detox the liver. I'm going to go even more in depth on specifically gallbladder function, and what to do if you've had your gallbladder removed. So tune in next week with me. Thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your day.